Welcome back to my channel. This is California commits hate crimes part 7. So moving forward, I'm going to say an affirmation. Some might consider it a prayer in the beginning of each video, and maybe I'll put it down here somewhere where you can see it and you can say it with me, so we can collectively create this conscious movement. I believe in energy and manifestation. So, and I think it's also going to help me emotionally and mentally. I'm sorry, when I go off script, my mind goes blank. That's why one of the reasons why I read this to you, so I can say I can't think. It's just my brain goes blank. But anyway, I'm going to read this to you guys. Okay. I effectively communicate my story to those who have concerns. Sharing my story will help facilitate my healing. My story is reaching powerful people who have the knowledge and ability to help me obtain justice. I'm a Black woman, descendant of chattel slavery. The ancestors will help me improve life for Black Negro people. I will help Black Americans finally live in harmony. You guys, I created that, and I'm so proud about that because that just gets right to the point. Anyway, my videos have been really long, so I'm going to stick to the script. To recap, the only hearing opposing loss was the restraining order because it was heard by John Slauson. So we're going to answer some questions. I'll post them up here so we can, as we go, and I get more viewers to the videos, I really would like you to participate in the answering of the questions to promote engagement. And also, you know what, I just really believe two heads work better than one, that collectively, you know, if we work together, there's more probability that I'll be successful, I'll learn, I'll get a better perspective. So this is my perception, this is my perspective. It could be faulty or erroneous. I don't know how to say it, but it's from my perspective because I'm experiencing it. I want you guys to objectively look at the things that I'm saying to you, and we question, answer the questions objectively. Did Judge Sarah Heidel disregard my testimony of the abuse I experienced by the white male abusive alcoholic? In a restraining order, compare and contrast how Heidel handled domestic violence in a case with a non-Black American. Okay, so this case number is 19PSR 00074. You guys, I gotta take notes so I can know where to put this in. I'm gonna put stuff in here for you guys. Okay, so I think this is the case. I've got this, sir, you guys, this has been going on for a long time. I've got a lot of convoluted information. I've been moving around for the past year in Airbnb because my home was stolen from me. All the information is everywhere. So, let me see. Question number 2, compare and contrast Gemma, which is GEMA, versus Frank Quinn. The court lowered the white male spousal support without evidence. Review the case on lacourt.gov. Okay, so I'm going over the specifics of how I was maligned and how the court did not follow California court procedures, how they did not follow California Family Code, how they clearly purposely harmed me because I'm a Black woman. It was their intention to harm me financially because it is a consciousness for some individuals to believe that Black people do not deserve to live harmonious or financially secure. We know that with I think the Tulsa riots and all the things that they've done specifically to harm Black people. And so part of what I'm doing is I'm demonstrating that California is anti-Black, that I have been maligned, that the court committed fraud, the cover-up of that fraud, and anti-Black hate crimes. And I'm going to demonstrate all the individual departments and people who are party to the hate crimes against me. And so the primary goal is to demonstrate that California is anti-Black, and that the government is guilty of government sanctioned trauma, anti-Black hate crimes. And because that it's a conscious and unconscious thing, that individually, like the law enforcement, specifically City of Industry Sheriff, specifically Torrance Police Department, specifically the professional Commission for Commission for Judicial Review. I'm gonna name everybody. What I'm gonna show you guys is this. I don't know if this is it would be defined as a RICO case, but I'm gonna show you how each individual department were a party to harming me. And again, I'm a Black woman who was married to a well-to-do white man for over 23 years. That it is evidence that he abused me for over 23 years. When we go and when you see everything that happened to me, how he harmed me, that it's going to support that he was the abuser. So let me go on with this. So number 2, compare and contrast Gemma versus Frank Quinn. The court lowered the white male spousal support without evidence. Review the case on lacourt.gov. Again, the case number is K like Catherine, D like David, 02830-303. Let me say it to you again. KD028303. I might go into that more specifically, the case, but I want you to answer the question. And if you and to you guys, I need your help. So use critical thinkers, you people who like solving mysteries, or get involved. Question number 3: How Heidel has a history of showing bias to white male abusive alcoholics. This is another case, and you know what? I only have the case number, KD057019. I think it's a case where I'll talk about that moving forward. It's just a question we're going to answer, okay? Did the court violate A1 of Family Code 2030 by hearing cases without legal representation? I don't know why I always belch when I come on here. Totally Wendy Williams. Okay, so Family Code 2030 speaks about the court shall, and shall, S-H-A-L-L, mean they have to. It's not up to their discretion. The court must adhere to 2030. California 2030 says that the court needs to ensure that I have illegal representation early on in the hearing. So you can go back and look at Family Code 2030. And you guys do your homework. Like, if you don't agree, I want you guys to be objective, okay, and engaging, so we can get the information. So moving forward, when I do file my federal lawsuit, we've dotted our I's and crossed our T's. Okay. Did the court maliciously deprive the respondent of spousal support when the court authority is to make responsible efforts to assist in providing support? Okay, let me see how many minutes I've been here, you guys. I got this older computer, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to move forward. Stop for a second. Okay, you guys, let me tell you this. I really struggle with cohesion, okay? I do these videos when I'm physically and mentally able. So I'll do my rant or whatever I say in the previous video. I don't always remember everything that I said, okay? Sometimes I have to go back. I'm behind literally years in taking care of this because of my living conditions and my mental state. So if I say something, or you are confused, you feel something's out of sync, you have a question about something I'm saying, please leave a comment, okay? This is one of the reasons why we don't get justice, because when you are harmed by the state or by the government, anti-Black hate crimes, the mental effect makes it very hard for you to get justice, along with them making an effort, intentionally harming you in a civil, like with your civil rights, and through the judicial system, they make it hard for you. It's like whipping us when we were slaves. They try to deter you from moving forward, and it affects your mental health. Okay, so I'm saying to you, and I go on a tangent, you guys, and I really want to be, as I go on, I know I'm going to get better. I'm going to be more specific and concise. Okay, um, so I filed a motion to reconsider spousal support dated May 3rd, shortly after the judge, Sarah Heidel, ruled in the petitioner's favor for spousal support. I had zero income. So what I'm saying to you is I had a motion to reconsider dated May 3rd. This is before I was awarded any monies for legal fees. So it's May 3rd, 2019. Our first hearing was January 2019. I had no legal representation. According to Family Code 2030, I shall have representation. Okay. So the motion to reconsider, the grounds for motion to reconsider were the court used the wrong figures in ex-spouse app. The question I'm unclear on is how the court decision determines spousal support. I was told it depends on the judge, which I question because that opens the door for bias and inequality. There should be uniformity. I was told by Pomona Self-Help they do not use ex-spouse calculator. And I'm saying that to you. I don't know how to go on this, go into this in my sharing the information, or should I wait for the federal court lawsuit? The self-help are also a party to this. I have evidence to demonstrate that they did not, that it appeared that they didn't try to help me, that they tried to mislead me, or they were working against me because I'm Black. Okay, it's so much information. I don't want to get in the weeds with everything. Some of the important information I'm going to save for the federal lawsuit. So what I'm saying is when I went to the self-help, I was told that they don't use the ex-spouse. Okay, I think the lady's name was Victoria. I think her name was Victoria Veronica. I have it in my documents what her name is, the lady who helped me. Okay. I was told by the Pomona Self-Help they do not use the ex-spouse calculator. I didn't have the opportunity to review opposing ex-spouse calculations prior to the hearing. According to the court procedure, there must be a meet and confer prior to the hearing. I may be using the wrong terminology, but the parties are to meet before the hearing to provide discovery. That didn't happen. You will note that the court egregiously disregarded California rules of court. I also filed a motion to reconsider vocational evaluation based on Family Code 2030, lack of equal representation disparity. The motion to reconsider was based on lack of evidence of the evaluator's credentials. And also, the order failed to have the necessary elements as outlined. The order failed to include specific elements outlined by California Code 4331. So I'm making this video. I need Black people. I need everybody to get involved. Okay. I need everybody to get involved, and you know, I'm always conscious of how I show up for everyone. I don't want to offend anyone. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. Like I want to make everybody happy, but to Black people, this case can set precedents about anti-Black hate crimes, or the anti-Black consciousness of California. That California has broken their promise to Black Negroes, descendants of chattel slavery, the promise of the 14th Amendment. Okay, the question remains: was there ever a technical order? Because there was never order and findings after the hearing filed. I hope I've already covered that with you guys. Please understand, I had no money. I'm suffering from a severe concussion. I spent the last 10 years dealing with this chronic pain from a severe back injury. You guys, it's April of 2016, I couldn't walk. That I went to Chicago with my husband for his event, and he attacked me in Chicago because I stayed in the room the entire time on ice. You guys, they have me on all kind of freaking drugs. I'm not look. This is going to go to a federal court case. Okay, y'all gonna see all the evidence. I was very, by the grace of God, I did not get addicted to any painkillers. And you guys, a lot of times I took the painkillers because I had really bad PMS. I used to have really bad periods. So I took the Vicodin and stuff. It's prescribed for my back. I took it more during my periods than for back pain because, see, I'm gonna get in the weeds, but I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna keep going. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta minimize this. But where am I with this? Okay, please understand I had no money. I'm suffering from a severe concussion. I spent the last 10 years dealing with chronic back pain. What I'm discussing is how Judge Heidel had no regard for my well-being. Okay? I hadn't had a job since, I think, 2008. I suffered from chronic back pain, documented back pain. I'd had a severe, like a serious back surgery. One day I'm going to get my son to take a picture of my back. It's part of my butt. You're going to see this incision. Okay? And in Chicago, April 2016, this man attacked me. Literally, he was mad because I was on ice the whole time in the room. Y'all, I couldn't walk, okay? And I was afraid to get back surgery. And part of it was my mental state. So I'm going to say this real briefly, and I'm going to keep going. April of 2016, and you guys, you see I tell the truth about him. This is my husband. This was the man I love. And to the black men, I know you want to come for me. Y'all want to talk shit, go ahead, talk shit. But this was my husband. And I'm so committed, okay? So, see, I'm seeing this alcoholic in my mind. I'm seeing his alcoholism. We went to a conference April 2016. It may have been March of 2016 because I think I had the back surgery in April, and it took 3 weeks before we decided. But I think we went to Chicago. Maybe I'll put pictures of us in Chicago here. We went to Chicago, and you guys, I couldn't walk. Like I literally couldn't walk, and he was not loving or supportive or empathetic to me not being able to walk. And you know what, you guys? I don't know if I told y'all, but I suspect him being gay. See, all this is coming to my mind. What I'm saying is not, okay, I'm going to give myself 1 minute to say this and I'm going to move on. And I'm just, my mind is going. I'm trying to discuss to you what my experience was prior to the divorce. How I was abused by this man. How I endured chronic pain because of a back injury. How I was on medication because I had chronic pain. I also had issues with PMS. We went to Chicago, and what he would do, this is what a covert narcissist does, he would make efforts to like be a good person and do things for us. That's in his mind, okay? And he's in his defense, he really thinks he's trying to help us. He's an alcoholic. So the alcoholism causes him to be angry and aggressive and confrontational. It's the alcoholism, okay? So we went to Chicago. He's at the different events. See, as I talk, you guys, it's coming to me. He attacked me because I was in the room on ice, on my back on ice in the room. He scheduled a boat ride for us, and I didn't get to the boat ride on time because I couldn't walk. So then we went to dinner. He cussed me out, y'all. He attacked me at a restaurant called The Grand, I think, in Chicago. And they also have the same one in Vegas. The food is good, y'all. I remember the restaurant. He was aggressive to the staff. He was aggressive to the manager. And if anybody from that restaurant remember me and this white man and how he behaved, please leave a comment. Please acknowledge what happened. But what I'm saying is that I dealt with the back injury and his abuse. And so I'm trying to communicate this to Judge Sarah Heidel. She don't care. Okay? So I spent the last 10 years dealing with chronic pain from a severe back injury. I had serious back surgery April of 2016. I fell around, I think, August, September of 2008. I didn't get back surgery for 8 years. Okay. This was 8 years ago. Okay. That I got the back surgery. I was given a raw deal on my with the workers' compensation case because I wasn't aware that the person who pays for the evaluation usually benefits from the evaluation. I only wanted to understand my rights under the vocational evaluation. I was not given the opportunity to object to the evaluator. Reason why I am mentioning the workers' comp is because I felt I hurt my back. Part of how I injured my back, I fell while I was working. Okay, you guys, I was a mess in this marriage. So I just was angry. I was in chronic pain, so I wasn't handling things effectively. Okay, they assigned an evaluator for my back. After the fact, I learned that the evaluator you choose oftentimes evaluation is in favor of who paid for it. And I'm saying this because in this case, I was not given the opportunity to object to an evaluator. In the case of Anita Shergonka versus Parpart Sharat, I might be saying the wrong person. You know what? Because I think it was the Moore. I think it was Moore. It's a Mexican lady who doesn't speak English and a white male named I don't remember the white man's name. You guys, I might be getting the names mixed up. When I display the information, it'll be proper. What actually happened in one of these cases, I think I'm putting the wrong names on here because I rarely remember what happened in the court. They were going to get an evaluation. Okay, this is very important, and I've got to find the right case. You know what? I'm sitting laughing at my ass because look, this is so hard, and I know y'all like, what the fuck she talk about? What's she talking about? Let me stay focused. Okay, I'm saying to you that I'm doing a compare and contrast. I learned from the workers' comp case that the person who pays for the evaluation, the evaluator normally report is in the favor of the person who pays. This lady, I gotta find who it is. I think it was the Moore person. She says this in court. Okay, she doesn't speak English. She has a translator, and what it appears like, no, she didn't have a translator. It was a social worker in her defense, and there with her, because I think this is a Latin woman. Her white male husband was what they were in litigation, okay, and she says, "I want to pick the evaluator. This is why I'm in court." Okay, the judge allows her to pick the evaluator. So I'm discussing the vocational evaluation. They picked a vocational evaluator. I spoke to you briefly about how March 14th, 2019 case, the hearing was held, how she didn't include me in the case, and all the different things that transpired. So I'm going to keep moving forward. So I'm trying to explain to you why I did a motion to reconsider. I didn't have the primary thing is I didn't have a representation, so I didn't know what was going on. Plus, she was obviously trying to harm me. Okay, so I'm going to move forward, so I can try to keep this under 40 minutes. I had $5,000 awarded to hire an attorney. I called around to find an attorney. I was unable to find anyone for the $5,000. I submitted 3 different quotes for the retainer in the request for attorney fees. To keep you up to speed, March 14th, there was the vocational evaluation and my proposal for attorney fees. She gave me $5,000 for attorney fees. I'm gonna tell you what this BITCH did, okay? Right? She didn't give me enough, but I'm gonna show you what she did, okay? I have 5,000, and I think this was all planned, y'all. We're gonna tell y'all. I had $5,000 worth to hire an attorney. I called around to find an attorney. I was unable to find anyone for $5,000. I submitted 3 different quotes for a retainer agreement in my request for attorney fees. This is me saying that I needed at least $10,000. She only gave me 5. Each attorney wanted $10,000 retainer. I decided to call Alethea Jones. Alethea Jones was an attorney that worked with his lead attorney. She showed up. She came to the very first hearing. She's a black woman, okay? A black American. Athena Jones was very sympathetic, okay? I decided to call Athena Jones. I'm looking for an attorney, guys, okay? And you're going to see I don't have any malice, any ill will. My marriage is over. I've been abused for 23 years. I just want it to be over. And I just want everything to be amicable and we can move on. It is 2024. This was 2019. I have been homeless. He has not paid spousal support, and I have been suffering. I'm going to tell you everything that they did to me. Okay, so I'm showing you. I'm going to court. I'm only asking what the law allows. Okay, and I'm going to show you how Judge Sarah Heidel sabotages me. How she causes us to pay more money instead of just trying to help me or do what's amicable for everyone. Althena, I met her the first time. I got this in here, so I'm going to read this to you. So I couldn't find an attorney. I didn't know if I could find an attorney. So in my mind, let me let her find an attorney that she know. Okay, if it's their friends and their attorney, their friends, they can work together and negotiate and get this done. You don't have to be in the court. It's 2 colleagues that know each other that can work together. There ain't got to be any conflict or any malice or deception or criminal behavior or fraudulent behavior that has happened. And that, for me, it didn't have to be any bad feelings. My marriage was over. Okay, after 23 years, let's just go get this done. Let's just do what the court says and let's move on. You're gonna see this is my position. Okay, so I call his attorney to say, hey, do you know any attorneys? Okay, she was an associate at the firm the petitioner hired. Althena Jones appeared the first time on January 2nd, 2019. She and I walked to the elevators together after the January 2nd, 2019 first appearance. I talked to you how she treated me, okay? Althena Jones was very sympathetic to me. Althena Jones is a black American. While walking to the elevator, she acknowledges the judge was being racist to me. She didn't come out and say, yes, she's racist, but she acknowledged her nasty behavior towards me. Black professionals can't come out and say something is racist. They will then be considered as playing the race card. It's a catch-22. But before I knew she was a genuine, but because I knew she was a genuine person, and you guys, I pride myself on being able to read people, but all this stuff that done happened to me, I might be wrong about that. She wasn't nasty. She's an attorney. She wasn't mean to me. She made comments about the judge, that led me to know this judge is racist. Okay. Anyway, Althena Jones is a black American. While walking to the elevator, she acknowledged the judge was being racist to me. She didn't come out and say, yes, she's racist, but she acknowledged her nasty behavior towards me. Black professionals can't come out and say something is racist. They will then be considered playing the race card. It's a catch-22. But because I knew she was a genuine human being, I called her. I asked her if she could suggest an attorney. I asked her because I felt like my divorce would go smooth if I was represented by someone she recommended. This information comes into play later. Althena didn't refer anyone. I will post the phone records where she and I spoke. Also, the email exchange setting a time to speak. You will eventually find the information on Judge Sarah Heidel's races. I eventually hired lead attorney Simon Botwani. I might not be saying his name properly, but it's CORE, CORE. I think that's the acronym. I explained that I had been living on credit cards because my husband abandoned me. This was early April 2019. Ms. Botwani couldn't get me in to see him until mid-April. He understood that I needed some sort of support, that I was a housewife for the last 12 years. My car was retired by Uber. It was also way too old for Lyft. I had no means of income. He planned to help me with the spousal support and also do an RFO for additional attorney fees. The May 3rd court date was right around the corner. Mr. Bawani planned to see if the opposing side would agree to move the dates to July 1st. I had a May 3rd request for order, motion to reconsider. You guys, this is very pertinent. This sets the stage for how it harmed me, my position in divorce. That Judge Sarah Heidel sabotaged my position when I had an attorney with the measly $5,000 that she gave me, that we were looking to move the dates, which would have subsequently possibly been taken off the calendar because both of the attorneys could have negotiated, okay? Instead of going to court, we could have negotiated, okay? Sama Bahani, I explained that I had been living on credit cards because my husband abandoned me. This was early April 2019. Mr. Badwani couldn't get me in to see me until mid-late April. He understood that I needed some sort of support, that I was a housewife for the last 12 years. My car was retired by Uber. It was also way too hard for Lyft. I had no means of income. He planned to help me with the spousal support and a request for order for additional attorney fees. May 3rd court date was right around the corner. Mr. Bawani planned to see me if opposing side would agree to move the court date to July. I had a May 3rd request for order, motion to reconsider spousal support, a June 12th motion to reconsider on vocational evaluation. Okay, so what I believe the May 3rd court date was motion to reconsider spousal support. So understand, he's not paying me any spousal support. This man makes upward of $14,000 a month. We were married for 23 years. I had no income. I had incurred a concussion in December of 2018. I had no income. Okay? The May 3rd court date was motion to reconsider. But had the judge not sabotaged me, the attorneys could have negotiated, okay? The May 3rd court date was right around the corner. Mr. Budwani planned to see if the opposing sides would agree to move the court date to July 1st. I had a May 3rd request for order, motion to reconsider, support. A June 14th motion to reconsider vocational evaluation. So May 3rd was motion to reconsider the spousal support, and the vocational evaluation was June 14th. Okay, so again, I have reasonings behind the motion to reconsider. The motion to reconsider is when you get new information or whatever. I have a motion to reconsider because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to present to the court because I'm not a attorney, okay? So he tries to negotiate with the attorney, and okay, it was Simon Budwani and a man named Charles Major, okay? Charles Major. What I know now, Charles Major, he disclosed to me that he used to work with attorney Ariel Carter, okay? And I'm dropping these little crumbs because I'm showing you this is how the court is set against Black people. That it's a conscious and unconscious knowing that Black people don't win in the state of California, that they harm us. Okay, I had a May 3rd request for order, motion to reconsider spousal support. A June 14th motion to reconsider on vocational evaluation. An associate with CORE, CORE is the acronym, Charles Major emailed Ariel Carter to ask if she would, I just drank some water. She would agree to move the court dates. Ariel Carter agreed to move the court dates. You can find the link documenting the emails in the description box. Once the court dates were moved, I thought the attorney could come to an agreement based on the California Family Code and guidelines, but instead the court commits hate crimes, fraud, misconduct, racial bias, abuse of discretion. I'm sure many other litigation legal violations. During my daughter's college graduation in 2019, the petitioner told me his attorney, Ariel Carter, was his girlfriend. I know that I should have had her investigated for misconduct, but I don't have the time or the resources. Any rate, I believe it would have been a good chance that we could have resolved issues outside of the court if two attorneys were working on the case. Charles Major of Core Associate, Core again, Charles Major of Core called the clerk to ask to move the court date. The clerk, Deanna, inquired with the judge about advancing the date. The clerk claimed the judge, Heidel, insisted that someone had to appear, which made both parties incur legal fees unnecessarily. Remember, Judge Heidel advanced the date from March 13th to the 14th for economical purposes, but insisted someone appear. Please take note, before asking Ariel Carter to move the dates, I called the clerk to ask how could I have the dates moved. I was told by the clerk, I was told by the clerk, Deanna, as long as opposing party agreed, it would be fine. Why would someone have to ask to appear to move the court dates? Why would someone have to appear to move the court dates? Okay, so let me say this. I know I sound convoluted because I have all this information because this is repeated. This is what has happened. And I've written this multiple times in multiple situations trying to get justice, okay? I called the clerk and asked her how to get the court date moved. Now remember, because I'm saying out of sequence. When I wanted to get the March 13th date moved, she told me as long as both parties agreed that we can move it, okay? So I'm saying out of sequence. It sounds like when I read it, I was like, this makes sense because I'm like, wait a minute, why would I call her about the May 3rd court date? Now I'm represented. I called her about the March 13th and March 14th date. She told me that, and I said this before in a previous video, that as long as both agree, right? Now, when Charles Major called to ask them to have it, and you know what, you guys, I don't want to jump ahead, but when I do my federal lawsuit, I might have to subpoena the phone records because now I'm going through this. My attorney probably was a party to the misconduct and the fraud. Okay, he told me that when he called the court, that the court said someone must appear, right? If he's an attorney, he knows that's not common. That if both agree, why would you say no? He told me that Dina, the court clerk, told him that someone must appear. I was told by the clerk, Dina, okay, why would she want to have? Why would she want me to use money she awarded to come to court and ask to move the dates? Do you understand? She only gave me $5,000. The attorney is like $400 to $450 an hour. Okay. Why would she want me to come to court on May 3rd, request for reconsideration and pay both attorneys if we both asked to move the dates in lieu of us coming to an agreement? Okay, so my husband's attorney agreed to appear. Ariel Carter agreed to appear, stating that she would be at the court for another matter, which now I question. I believe there was a plan to harm me. You guys listen to what I'm saying. If something you don't understand, ask me, because you guys are going to be objective. When you look at this with clean eyes, with unbiased eyes, and this was me just being gullible, they were setting me up from the beginning. It was a May 3rd court date. They both agreed. I have the emails in the description and on Judge Sarah Heidel's Racist website where they agreed. If they both agreed to move the date, why would Judge Heidel say someone has to come in? Someone has to come in for what? For what? Doesn't make any sense. You're going to say so for sure, so she can do stuff to harm me. I believe there was a plan to harm me. Okay, because Ariel Carter says she's going to be at the court that day. If she's going to be at the court that day, if she already has a reason to go to court on May 3rd, why would she have a conflicting, why would she have be handling two different issues on the same court date? I can see she could have, but would you double book yourself? Or was this part of the plan between my attorney, her attorney, and the court? Were they setting me up? Y'all gonna think this sounds conspiracy, like conspiracy theory, but wait till this is the beginning. I ain't tell you all. Wait till you see all the shit they did to me. Okay. Now I'm going to detail you on what happened at the May 3rd court hearing that I thought was moved. May 3rd court hearing was motion to reconsider. They were asking to move the court date. She insisted that someone shows up. Okay. Had my attorney showed up, it would have ate up over half of what she awarded me. Okay. Directing you to May 3rd transcripts, page 1, line 28, page 2, line 1 and 2. The petitioner's attorney, Ariel Carter, explained to Judge Heidel, that both parties were requesting continuance. She even acknowledged that the continuance was necessary because I lacked representation. In the name of fairness, I should have an attorney. Judge Heidel begins to rant against me. Judge Heidel states that asking for a continuance isn't a good reason not to appear. Now remember, supposedly, on a federal lawsuit, I'm going to ask for the phone records for court to show me that he actually called the judge to ask to move the dates, because he told me that Dina told him that someone had to appear. She's alluding to the idea that she wasn't aware that Charles Major, an associate of court, called the clerk. He was told someone had to appear. So let's be clear, it's May 3rd. No one's in court but petitioner's attorney Ariel Carter. And she's supposed to be there on the behalf of both of us to ask for a continuance, okay? To me, this makes sense because we're going to resolve. She's an attorney, he's an attorney. We're going to resolve everything. It could have been done, okay? Judge Heidel declined the continuance, had no legal premise to decline the hearing. Why would she decline the hearing, to move the hearing, when I don't have representation there, okay? Demonstrating racial bias. A continuance would have minimized costs, promoting a speedy and fair resolution. Heidel abuse of judicial discretion against me, a Negro, descendant of Choctaw slavery, done with malice and forethought, hindering my position in the divorce case. Heidel awarded me 11 hours towards attorney fees, okay, with the $5,000 at $4.50 an hour. Ultimately, both parties agreed to move the date. Judge Sarah Heidel begins her pattern of sabotaging respondent position in the divorce. Testimony, May 3rd hearing transcripts, page 2, line 9 through 18. Miss Carter, I understand, Your Honor. My understanding is the respondent's counsel was retained legal limited scope to continue this matter and to file an additional request for order. There are several requests for orders on the court calendar right now. And an effort to try to consolidate some of the matters and hopefully resolve some of the matters, we did agree to continue today's hearing out to a date in July, as well as advance respondents June 14th and continue that as well. So she's saying, okay, you guys, his attorney, you guys, I'm an empath, and this little girl is just deceptive. Like, when people are mean and they do horrible, unscrupulous things, I know they're wounded. And when she's next to me, I knew she was pregnant before she started showing. I felt it, Okay, she reminds me of my daughter. Um, she does deceptive stuff, but then I don't know if she's doing this for the record or is it guilt? Because sometimes she says things in court, so it can be. The white guy is dumb. He's not bright at all. He don't even know that she's doing this. Okay, sometimes she moving forward. I'm going to say this really quickly. Sometimes, specifically at the trial, sometimes she would say stuff on the record and it didn't benefit him, it benefited me. And I think that she's seeing that they're harming me, and they're seeing the extent to which they are harming me, and part of her is feeling a little guilty, and she's giving me a little grace because she says here, this is what she says on transcripts from May 3rd, 2019. I believe it's transcript page 2, line 9 to 18. She says, there are several RFOs on the court calendar right now. And in an effort to try to consolidate some of the matters and hopefully resolve some of the matters, we did agree to continue the date. Today's hearing on July, in a date in July, as well as advance responders June 10th and continue that as well. So she's saying to the judge, hey, you know what? We want to move the court date. She's being paid to come there. He's paying her to come there and say, hey, can we move the date? She acknowledges we were trying to resolve it. What this judge does, this is the beginning, you guys. This is the beginning. I know I'm a little elevated. Wait till you see all the shit they did to me. I'm homeless. It's 2014. It's 2024. This was May 3rd, 2019, before COVID. Heidel denies the continuance. Both parties were agreeing to a continuance. Judge Heidel had no legal basis for denying the continuance. Let me stop before I read. So Heidel implied, both parties were agreeing to the continuance. Judge Heidel has no legal basis for denying the continuance. Heidel implied that my attorney just didn't appear, as if he did something that wasn't normal and usual. The email is evidence of the attempt to a speedy resolution. Simon Budwani received the $5,000 attorney fees payment made by the opposing. He could have just appeared and billed me. On May 3rd, Simon Budwani called me to tell me that the judge ruled against us, even though the counsel requested a continuance. I will post the phone records between Attorney Budwani and myself. After speaking with the Attorney Budwani, I called the clerk to ask her. My phone records document my calls to the court on May 3rd. I asked the clerk, Dina, did my attorney call to request a continuance? And if so, did you tell him that someone had to appear to request a continuance? Dina Lee Kistel, Kistler, Kistel, responded, no comment. I asked a second time. To be clear, I asked, did my attorney call to ask for continuance? And you told someone had to appear. Dina Lee Kristen said second response was no comment. I thanked her, wished her a good weekend, and hung up. I believe it was on a Friday. And you guys, let me say this to you. I really feel energy. I just asked her. She said no. She anticipated me to keep badgering her. I don't know. I believe that phone calls in the court are recorded. Okay. She said no comment twice. Okay. So listen, I've got all this stuff here. The court, because I'm worried about the time. Okay, I'm going to talk about some of the things on the transcripts. I'm going to try to read it relatively fast, okay? The court, okay, and then the court, okay, and then regarding the trial setting conference, I guess I'll take your view, the issues of what needs to be resolved for the trial. When she's asking opposing these questions, when I'm not present and there isn't representation, I didn't purposely do something erroneously. My state of mind was I now have representation. This will be handled amongst the licensed professionals. Why is she penalizing me? A rational person, an officer of the court, should be aware that I'm a layman with limited knowledge of the law in every aspect of her attitude, behavior, and actions. How does this apply to the law? Where is my rights to due process? You guys, as I read this, and I want to say I'm more lucid, like emotionally, cognitively, I'm probably, I don't even know. I can't even gauge which, if I'm worse or better. Um, but as I read this and time is go on and everything that's been transpired, they're setting me up. Everybody's involved and they're setting me up. And at this point in time, I don't know this. And you guys, it sounds like it's conspiracy. Like, oh, maybe I'm not being rational, or I'm exaggerating. Wait till you see everything they did to me. Okay. During May 3rd court hearing, the court begins to her verbal attack of me. She makes reference to a limited scope hiring of my attorney. I didn't request limited scope agreement. Let me say this about the limited scope agreement. I didn't want to go into this because it's so much. I did an agreement with them, okay? And all this is email. Later on, I got a phone call from Charles Major and an email, either a phone call or email. I have it all documented, asking me to sign a limited scope agreement. I thought the limited scope agreement was because I didn't have a credit card, that they were only going to limit the limited scope agreement because there were other, that I now know this. I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to say this because I know this now in my heart, and I keep wanting to make this man be a good guy. I believe court is also a party to the hate crimes against me. So this is okay. The court begins. So during May 3rd court hearing, the court begins to her verbal attack of me. She makes reference to a limited scope hiring of attorneys. It was my understanding it was a limited scope because I was unable to provide a credit card. I was unable to provide a credit card because Heidel didn't order spousal support. My credit card went into default around about February, about this time, about when I started asking for spousal support. Default because I had no income. My credit card debt was marital debt. Heidel didn't consider when ordering spousal support. Heidel called me unreasonable because I hired an attorney to handle my spousal support matter and to request additional fees. I had zero income while petitioner lived over $14,000 a month. We being in a long-term marriage of 23 years. How is my behavior unreasonable? It is unreasonable because I'm a Black American Negro descendant of Choctaw slavery. I was virtually a housewife for the last 15 years of our marriage. I took responsibility for the household duties, including raising our daughter, who received a merit scholarship to a prominent university. I cooked and cleaned and emotionally supported the opposing. I emotionally supported my husband to my best ability while being in an emotionally abusive marriage. I endured his infidelity. When he left me, I did everything I could to support myself by driving the ride share, which compromised my already injured spine. The petitioner earned at least $180,000 annually. I had no income as of this May 3rd court date. He had an executive. He had an executive. He is an executive for a nonprofit. His annual salary is published. I didn't earn an income for the last 10 years of our marriage. Heidel was aware that I had known medical issues, that the petitioner is abusive. I even submitted several emails correspondence where I begged employees to hire me. The emails spanned over 2 years of my looking for work and around 2016. She also knew that I received food stamps. Judge Heidel is behaving like a classic racist in power in America, treating me less than human. Heidel goes on to make negative comments about awarding additional attorney fees. Let me say this to you really quickly, because I don't understand the limited scope thing, okay? Like, she's attacking me about limited scope, and I don't understand why she's attacking me. I signed the documents. We went to, I paid him, or the opposing paid him. I went and signed an agreement for him to represent me. Judge Charles Major, I think it was Charles Major, or Simon, later called me and asked me to do a limited scope agreement. So let me explain to you what I'm saying. I went, they agreed, they knew I had no credit cards. I'll have to fund $5,000. They go back after the fact and ask me to sign a limited scope agreement. I'm thinking there's not enough money, so they just say, you know what, let me be safe and let her know we're just dealing with this because she may not be able to get more money. Okay? You guys, I'm looking at this. You know why they wanted the limited scope? Because there was stuff on the calendar where opposing had filed a motion to compel, and I think this limited scope was trying to protect my attorneys, core Simon Botwani and Charles Major. They later, after I signed the agreement and paid them, made me go back and find the limited scope. I thought the limited scope was because I didn't have a credit card. So they're saying, okay, we only can handle this much. If you don't have them, I don't know, right? I didn't know. What it was, they saw that she had filed motions against me, and this was going to probably be their defense and why they didn't tell me. But I'm going to move on, you guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. Heidel goes on to make negative comments about awarding additional fees. If you're an attorney, please help me, because I want to know, is her behavior and her comments biased? Is it how I choose to spend the fees to help me in a divorce? Why is she critical? I don't have any money. I have no income because she didn't give me any. Okay. May 3rd transcripts, page 4. May 3rd, 2019 transcripts, page 4, line 24 to line 28. The court, I'm concerned because the court did award attorney fees, and respondent has gone and hired an attorney limited scope to a motion to reconsider a temporary spousal support order and to file a motion for additional attorney fees. I'm concerned about the responsibleness of additional attorney fees requested going forward if that's the way the attorney fees are being spent. So what she's saying is, in this limited scope, if you're an attorney, please help me, because the limited scope, why she went on a tangent, and what she's doing is she's negatively framing me. This is what white supremacists have done to black people since they brought us here and we were supposed to be freed by the 14th Amendment. They do things to harm us. And it's apparent. Why? I have no income. This is May 3rd, 2019. This man abandoned me January of 2018. He was the primary provider. Now, you guys do a compare and contrast. I'm getting really deep into this, but I'm a black woman. He's a white man. As I go on, you're going to see this is racial. He didn't give me any spousal support. Okay? I'm asking the motion to reconsider spousal support because now I have an attorney to protect to help me. Plus, I know that the order was done erroneously. This man makes over $14,000. How can he not give me any money in the state of California? My attorney is attempting to consolidate the dates to be cost effective with an adequate award. Heidel ordered. She has the audacity to say this statement in court. The opposing attorney and my husband agreed to move the date. In the matter of justice, why would she rule in such a way? Why would she make such a statement about me? There's an obvious bias. This type of treatment of black people has been going on since we were kidnapped and brought to this country. Judge Heidel attempts attitude is that of a racist who thinks I deserve less than a white woman. I am living well below the standard of living I was I was accustomed for 23 years. Heidel used incorrect numbers when ordering and temporary spousal support. She had no legal basis. Up to this point, she had only done things in favor of the petitioner, the white male abusive alcoholic. I am going to mention this, that his attorney lies in open court. And you guys, I probably need to file something against her with the Bar Association. Eric Carter, opposing attorney, doesn't follow the California rules of court. Eric Carter is aware that Heidel is showing extreme bias. She is taking full advantage because bias is blatant. It's obvious to every person in the courtroom. Please understand, I have no money during this time. I had no money. I had no money for food until I was awarded food stamps for sometime in March. The court burdened the state to feed me instead of ordering a white male abusive alcoholic what the law says I'm allowed. During the time, I was suffering from concussion syndrome. I also am suffering from sleep deprivation. I was scheduled for a sleep study. I had a horrible time with train of thought and keeping things in perspective. These events became much more complicated as I had a June 14th court date for motion to reconsider vocational evaluation. Let me be very clear. I was not trying to evade the evaluation. I just want to have a lawyer advise me on the specifics and my rights regarding the evaluation. Area Carter also had a date for June 21st. She had a motion to compel discovery and motion to compel a vocational evaluation. You guys, let me tell you something. I'm going to stop this right here. I'm going to put the questions in right here so you guys can answer the questions. See, guys, I'm suffering from depression. So most oftentimes I don't want to think about it. I just want to, the words don't come to me. Okay? What's happening biologically right now is my heart is elevated and I'm getting anxious because every time I read this 4 years later and they stole everything from me, you guys. I'm going to tell you, this man broke in my home. My house was 3,000 square feet. He gave all my property away to someone who stole my stuff, all my furniture, my kids' arts and crafts, all my jewelry. I collect designer bags. He broke in my home during COVID. They gave my property to a storage place that I paid. We're going to get there, and they stole my stuff. Okay? I'm getting excited. So what's going to happen is I'm going to wrap this one up. Again, the questions are here that we need to answer the questions. Then I'm going to talk to you in the next video. I'm going to talk about she had filed 2 motions. And you guys, I'm a good person. And one reason why I'm really having a hard time is it's hurtful to me that all these different people worked to harm me. When I was married to this man for 23 years, he abused me for 23 years. I didn't do anything. When you look at the transcripts, you're going to see I'm not being aggressive. I'm not starting any fights. All I want is to be him to pay me what we're supposed to pay, separate the marital assets, and go on with my life. This man has bought a home. He has been on with his life, and I've been homeless. For 3 years, I was in a bed bug infested hotel, literally losing my mind. I continued to file things in the court. What you guys don't know, what they eventually do, Judge Heidel and Judge Lawrence Riff, they deemed me vexatious about, I don't remember, it was 2019. I think it was 2019. They were trying to stop me from protecting myself. So let me stop here because it's been long enough. But in the next video, I'm going to talk about what she does. Okay, so let me stop here.